Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today. Starting on this 1 day time frame, because right here you can see that Bitcoin has reached the top of the descending channel once again. So are we going higher to 70 or potentially even 80,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price? That is what I will be taking a look at in this analysis here for today. And the first thing that we should really cover here is actually this level of resistance, which as of the time of recording is sitting at about 68,150 US dollars. Because in my opinion, guys, so long as we do not confirm a breakout out of the top of this descending channel, there is no reason to be looking at these much higher price levels for Bitcoin. And in fact, it is still completely possible to just get a rejection back down from that level of resistance. Because if you are new to the channel here, I've been taking a look at this descending channel for months at this point, and it actually helped us identify a bunch of important points in the price action to flip long or short. And what I have been saying this entire time is that so long as we are trading inside this pattern, Bitcoin is just consolidating, meaning that it can go to the top of the range and it can go to the bottom of the range as well. So keep that in mind on this higher time frame here. Although if we take a look at the RSI momentum indicator, right here you can see that we confirmed a breakout, as I mentioned in some of my recent videos, and that was at about 58,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. So this is still looking bullish. But as always, let's also zoom into the lower timeframes here. For example, the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, because so far this is looking like we are getting rejected from the 0.786 level, which is sitting at about 68,000 US dollars. And again, this is a critical level to watch, because breaking out above this 68K level, or basically just above these previous highs, will likely indicate that we are going much higher after that. But so long as that does not happen, you also need to be open to the possibility that this is just going to be a rejection back down. For example, back inside this Fibonacci golden pocket, which is sitting from 68.5K all the way down to 64.8K. So this is also an area of interest if we actually see a continuation of this rejection here. However, there are some levels of support in between the current price and this Fibonacci golden pocket. So let's take a look at those as well. However, before I get to that, in terms of the momentum in the market here, you should also be paying attention to this 4-hour RSI momentum indicator, because here you can see this descending line of resistance. And so far, it looks like we are in the early stages of a rejection, although of course this can change, because again, we are talking about some very low time frames here. So what you need to look out for is actually if we break out of this descending line of resistance, likely we will get much more bullish momentum after that. However, if we get another rejection back down here on this RSI trend line, then this will indicate that we are likely going to get some bearish or sideways momentum in the short term here. So keep an eye on this. Also, if you got surprised or missed this move to the upside today, I quickly want to share a nice win from the Road to 1 Million Signals group on Discord. You can join this completely for free, by the way, because I sent out this long signal from this falling wedge pattern when Bitcoin was trading at about 65.3K. And overnight, this hit our price target of about 67,000 US dollars, and a bunch of people profited from this trade. For example, we have Hustleman Matt making about 33%. Here we see another close to 200% profit from that trade. And then again, a full-on 200% profit from this trade. Now, if you want to get access, you can do it completely for free. Simply join my Discord group with the first link in the video description. And from there, go to this Trading Signals access channel. Just follow these 3 steps and you will get access to all of my trading signals completely for free. Now moving on with the Bitcoin analysis here. Now in terms of the support and resistance levels for Bitcoin on this 4-hour time frame, right here you can see this big level of resistance above us from 68.5K all the way up to 70,000 US dollars. And besides that, you can also see that if we actually get a continuation of this rejection, that this big level of support is looking quite realistic for Bitcoin, sitting from 66,000 all the way down to 65,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price as a potential level to bounce from, or at least test to see if we hold this as a level of support. So this is also an area of interest for Bitcoin. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on this 3-day time frame, right here you can see that we took out a big level of liquidity, about $300 million worth of short positions out of the market at about 67.9K. We did leave a little bit of liquidity to the upside left here. However, there is now also liquidity piling up to the downside. For example, sitting at about 66.5K, but also a bunch of liquidity sitting at 63.4K, roughly speaking. Now, in the case that you don't know, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity on this chart. And on this 3-day time frame, so we're talking about the short term here, there's a lot of liquidity just below the current price. So it would not be crazy to see some kind of retracement into this big level of liquidity here. And then if we actually lose that level of support, for example, at 65K, then this is looking much more likely all the way down at about 63.4K. However, as always, it is important to understand the difference between the different timeframes here, because if you take a look at the 3-month time frame, in fact, most of the liquidity is actually to the upside, sitting all the way as high as 72.3K. So long term, the liquidity is looking more bullish. And as I've been saying this entire time, even when we were trading all the way down here, I do think that at some point we are going to take out that liquidity, sitting at about 72,000 US dollars. And since I talk about this big level of liquidity pretty much every video, I thought I would also add it inside this higher time frame chart right here, so you guys can see what that would actually look like if we grab that liquidity at some point. It would likely look like a breakout from here, potentially a retest, and then grabbing that liquidity to the upside. So that is something that I am looking out for in the long term. However, so long as we are not breaking out from here, it is still possible to first go much lower before we eventually grab that liquidity to the upside. So keep that in mind. And this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, don't forget to come check out my trading signals, which again, you can join completely for free with the first link in the video description. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.